Alright, so today I'm going to be going over the idea of the value of an item being sold, because the selling price of items is not generally what the value of it is at any particular step in the business pricing structure. So this comes about because of the GST. This system of the GST is designed so that consumers pay the cost. The GST in full. But the businesses are the ones who collect it, the collectors of GST. So they charge the GST either to you at the end of the chain or to each other as the item goes from manufacturer to wholesaler. And then they collect that money and send it to the government, so that you as a consumer don't have to worry about keeping all these receipts and keeping a record of everything you buy and then sending all that money over to the government. The businesses can do it because they're in a better position to do it. Okay? So, now we have to get to the idea of the value of an item. The value is basically the cost and profit total. Excludes the GST. It excludes the GST because the companies know that the GST goes to the government. Okay, so let's try running an example. Let's say you're a manufacturer. You make statues or something, and it costs you of $800 to make this statue. Now you want to get paid for your hard work, so let's say you want to make a profit. Well, in the book example it's 20%, so let's go with that. 20% of $800 is going to be $160. 20% of cost. So, by our definition of what value is, the value of the item at this point, the value of the item for the manufacturer is $960. Value. And this is what the manufacturer charges GST on. GST is 10%. So 10% of 960 is going to be $96. So in total, this is the selling price. So you can see that the selling price here and the value are different, because the selling price includes the GST. Why does it include the GST? Because the manufacturer knows that that is going to go to the government. So he doesn't even, even though he collects that money, he doesn't even see it as him earning it. He has to consider that it's going to go straight to the government. So now we get to the next step in line. Usually in Australia, we've got a system of manufacturer sells the goods to a wholesaler, a big warehouse, who buys the stuff in bulk, and then they sell them on to retailers. So we might stop at the wholesale level. The wholesaler paid $10.56 in total. Selling price was $10.56 in total. That's including the GST. So they paid $10.56 in total, but they see the value of the item as being $960. So they consider their cost as actually being $960, which was the value of it before, and then they work out their profit on that. So in the book's case, it was 25%. So they would get a $240 profit. 25% of the cost being the value from the manufacturer level. So now at the wholesaler level, you will see that based on our definition of what value is, their overall value for the item is $1,200. But they have to charge GST onto the next level, GST of 10%, which is going to be $120. And you see how this GST of 10% here is calculated on the total value at the wholesaler level. So their selling price is going to be a total of $1,320, and this price is going to be passed on to the next in line. Now, why do they do that? Because they know that GST is going to be taken by the government. So hopefully you can see that even though the selling price is $10.56 from the manufacturer and the selling price from the wholesaler is $13.20, that's not what the actual value of the item is. The value of the item's value is going to be the cost plus the profit and excludes the GST. The manufacturer, it cost them $800 to make the item. They made a 20% profit, so $160. So their value was $960. Now the wholesaler here has the understanding that this GST, even though he paid $10.56 overall, he knows that 96 of those dollars goes straight to the government. So that's why he doesn't base his pricings on $10.56. He bases the pricings on $960 because that's the value of the item that he bought, and then he does his profit calculations and GST calculations on that new value. So hopefully that makes sense. The book just gets you to have a look at the example, and next time I'll have a little video again that goes the whole chain down of the pricing structures.